Here are two effects that I found on the internet that I reversed engineered. Here is something that I saw on YouTube that I had to reverse engineer because I really didn't see any tutorials as to how to do it. So this is what I came up with. First, I show a playing card that I cut a hole out of the center. I'm just going to be using a hole in this effect. Card is selected, in this case the Jack of Clubs I'll be using, which goes face up on top of a face down deck of playing cards, and of course the hole comes into play. Now as you can see, the deck is face down, and of course the hole, depending upon where you place it, it's going to create an optical illusion. For example, if you place it right in the center, it looks like you can see right through the Jack of Clubs to the deck of cards underneath. But with a touch of magic, the illusion becomes reality, as there is now an actual hole in the center of that Jack of Clubs. And this card can now be examined. This prototype was put together by punching a hole in the Jack of Clubs using a hole punch. And then you need a seam roller for whenever you apply wallpaper to the wall and you put two pieces of paper up against each other. You use that to roll up and down the seam to make the seam invisible. So if you take the hole that you punched out of the jack and use the seam roller to press that hole back into place from the back side, and this should be done from the back side of the jack, then as you can see the hole becomes virtually invisible even close up, and the back looks really good too. So the seam roller is really what you need. They're inexpensive to purchase just about anywhere, Walmart, whatever. Okay, so the jack goes into the pack about 5 or 6 cards down. There's other cards that are cut out which have a bigger hole in it, as you can see, and there's a magnet which is taped and glued to one of the cards further down. The cards with the larger hole in it go over top of the magnet. And that is basically your setup for the effect. Basically what's going to happen is that hole that you punched out is going to be attracted to the magnet. Now the hole, this particular hole which you've punched out also, it's a separate hole from a different card. This hole has a razor blade on the back side. A little piece of a razor blade, a little bit of metal stuck there, so that it gets attracted to the magnet whenever it falls through the top card. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a moment. So basically that's it. You start with the jack about 5 or 6 cards down. You take it out, show the back and front, only a single card. Turn the deck face down, but you don't want to show that you have a large hole there with a magnet. So you use the jack as cover, as you can see. Then you pull the jack backwards towards yourself a little bit to show the face down deck underneath it. You pick up the hole that you've apparently punched out of a different card and show that depending upon where you place the hole, it's going to give the illusion. Now think about this. The hole gets placed right in the center, and as it gets placed there, you push down and it releases the hole that was punched through the jack, and that falls down, and then the top hole, the one that you see right there, that gets attracted to the magnet, so that when you lift the jack up and do a wrist turn, everything underneath, as you can see here, is never seen. Only maybe a quick flash as you lift the Jack of Clubs up, but with a quick wrist turn, it gives you a very nice illusion that the hole that you placed there is now a permanent hole within the card. That's just Here's something that has potential. I guess you could call this the invisible deck, because obviously it's invisible. Unless you want to pretend that it's not, using your imagination, anything is possible. And now we have an entire pack of 52 playing cards from an empty card box, just like magic. Okay, here's a rough construction of how it's made. You simply need a shell by cutting card box apart. This would be the back part of the card box. So it's a shell, as you can see. Next, you're going to need a regular card box, but along with it you need the other part of this card box that you had cut apart, and you glue it to the back side of your entire full card box. So that's glued in place with the flap hanging down. Now to set everything up, you place the shell right over top. So the shell is placed over top to cover that up. In the card box itself, you place the cards, tuck the flap in, which leaves you in this condition. From the front, it looks good. From the back, you simply have to cover up the flap with your fingers. So when you bring it out, you hold it like this, you pull the flap up, and what you're going to do is you're going to pull the shell away. You're going to pull the shell away from the card box itself, which will be exposing the interior. But because you want to have some space down here, what you want to do is when you pull the shell away, you put your fingers inside and you simply move it off, move it backward like this, so it lines up with the very edge of the shell. So from the front, it will look like it has a bottom to the box. Before, it would have looked like this, which wouldn't have looked too good, but because you place your fingers in there and pull it up, you actually give it a bottom to the box. So you bring it out, show it like this, you pull the flap up, you pull back on the flap, that's going to separate the shell from the box, pull back, put your fingers inside, and this is where, from the back, you're going to be raising the card box up and get it in position just like that, one box on top of the other. So when you show it from the front, it's going to look as though you have nothing inside the box. Then everything goes back together, coalesces. Pretend to tuck the flap back in, but you're actually just folding it back over. And then you pull the cards out of the box, once again like this, separate it, show that the box is empty, tuck the flap in. Then you simply turn the box around so you can open the flap. Then you simply dump the cards out, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, that's just a start of what I've been working on.